Oh my sweet baby arse, yes, we have finally had all the rumours put to rest last night when Nintendo Directed and they announced Pokemon Sun and Moon. So I've watched the trailer. I actually did a react video which I'll link in an annotation if you want to go check that out for yourselves. But I've watched the trailer a few times now. I've broken it down. I've been on various websites, various forums, various Twitter tweets, and I've had a little bit of a browse to see what the internet's had to say about it, and I've put together a list of information of what we know so far about Pokemon Sun and Moon. Now obviously it was announced last night. We have like a few pictures and then just the word of the internet, and if you've used the internet before, you know the word of internet users isn't necessarily the greatest thing to go off with anything in life. But yeah, so we pretty much just have the pictures and the information in the video, which wasn't a great deal, so there isn't much to talk about at the moment, but I wanted to just make a video just to say like, okay, it's been announced, what do we know right now? And then we can build off that speculation wise, and then in the future we can just sort of keep coming back to it and keep adding more information as we go along, sort of thing. So that's what I'm going to do today. Okay, so I have a couple of small speculations. They're only like very like small, brief speculations, which is why I said small a minute ago. But I have some brief speculations. I'm going to throw them in at the end because first of all I want to talk about specifically what we already currently know. Okay, so what do we know so far? Well, first of all, we know the window for the release date. Now they didn't tell us the specific release date, and I think this is pretty safe of Nintendo to do at this particular time for a variety of reasons, which I'm not going to go into, but we know that's going to be released in the holiday season of this year, so it is going to be coming out in 2016. Now that is a pretty big window, however, based on the releases of the Gen 6 games, i.e. X and Y, and also the releases of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, we can sort of estimate that it's going to be around late October, early November, which is obviously like when you get a lot of games coming out already anyway, but that's basically the sort of estimate for the release date of what we have so far, but we know that it will be sort of the later end of 2016. So we know that this is confirmed to be Generation 7. This is a new generation of Pokemon games, and what does that mean? Well, it means more than you might think. So there were a lot of speculations that the next Pokemon game is going to be Pokemon Z. Now obviously that didn't quite pan out. Now making this game Gen 7, its whole new gen, this means a few things. And the reason why I'm saying that it definitely is its own gen is because if you look back to the part of the video where it's cycling through the different like stages of generations, it goes 1996, 2004, and it's like going through them all like that. You'll notice that it doesn't at any point show up as Emerald, Crystal, or Black and White 2. It doesn't show any of those. It only shows the major gens and like the major games. So that would suggest that this is another one of the major games and therefore its own generation. So this is going to be Gen 7, and we also know, seeing as though it is Gen 7, that there are going to be new Pokemon. So far, new Pokemon wise, we haven't really had anything shown. Obviously, recently it was revealed that Magiana, or however you're supposed to pronounce it, I'm not 100% sure, was going to be a new Pokemon release, so we have seen that one. And we also saw for like a few frames in the trailer itself that we've seen like a new sort of wireframe model type thing for a new bird Pokemon basically, and we saw that. Now we've had some people saying that it is a fletchling, it's a fletchling model. Now I don't want to be rude to those people, but they're wrong, their opinion is wrong, and don't listen to any of those guys. And if you are one of those guys, hey, listen, I ain't having a go at anyone, but I mean, like, look at it, dude, and then look at a fletchling. Hey, come on, man. I don't know, I just think it'd be a bit unlikely if they're like 2012, 2013, and what's happening now in 2016, and then it just show like a model of a fletchling. I just think that's a little bit unlikely, so I don't think it's a fletchling. I mean, it could be like a Mega Revolution or something, but I don't know, dude. So we also know that it's going to be available in 9 languages. We know that it's going to be available in English, French, Italian, German, Spanish, Korean, Japanese, and also both Chinese traditional and simplified, with the Chinese languages being in addition to this game. Now, okay, don't get me wrong, I think this is cool. I'm glad they're expanding the, capabilities of the language barrier. That doesn't even make sense, but I'm glad they're expanding the languages. Having said that though, they've just announced a new gen, a whole new gen of Pokemon games. 2 new Pokemon games have just been announced and like officially confirmed. They could show us anything to hype us up. And what do they show us? The fact that there's 2 more languages. I feel like of all the things they could have shown us to like try and sell the game, showing us languages, like trying to sell us on languages, like if you look at when they announced the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, now with 2 new languages, like it just seems a bit daft to me, so I'm a little bit disappointed with it, but it has going to be a total of 9 languages now, so I mean, it's neat, I guess. So that is pretty much what we know so far. We know a rough release date window. we know that it is going to be a new generation, so this could mean new Pokemon, it could mean a new region, who knows actually, to be honest, but we know when it's coming out, we know that it actually exists, and we know some like basic other small stuff. Okay, so now on to my actual speculations, and honestly there isn't a ton of stuff going on, but there is definitely enough to talk about and speculate about, and as always I want to know what your guys' opinions are and speculations are as well, so feel free to leave a comment down below, let me know what you guys think. Okay, first of all, and this is probably the main one for me, is that I honestly think that this is going to be in a new region. Now, as I mentioned before, this is Gen 7, as we can already tell, as we already know, this is definitely the 7th generation of Pokemon games, and I don't see why they wouldn't have a new region, otherwise they probably, knowing like the way it works, if they were going to keep it in the same region, then they would have just made it Pokemon Z, right? Especially since I don't see any reason for them to not make it Z if they were just going to do it in the same region, because that just naturally makes sense. So I think naturally we can just assume that this is definitely going to be in a different region, which obviously leaves a lot of possibilities, but I think it's pretty early on to say what they'll actually be doing with regards to like regions and stuff, other than I think that it will be, well, as I said about 8 times now, a new region. And similarly with that, I think there'll definitely be new Pokemon. Now obviously I think, you know, it wouldn't really be a new gen if there were new Pokemon. Now I know Gen 6 didn't have as many Pokemon as previous gens had, but I think if it is a new generation we can just sort of assume that there will be new Pokemon. Now I did mention before the bird type that we saw, a lot of people have been saying it's been Fletchling. Now obviously I mentioned that before as well, but we did actually recently have a list leaked of a bunch of maybe fake, maybe real list of potential Pokemon for Gen 7, and obviously we've had no confirmation of that, but we did actually see somewhere on the list was a Pokemon called Hattori, and that was Pokemon number 766. It was a flying type Pokemon, and it was called the Humming Pokemon, or aka the Hummingbird Pokemon. Now if you look at this, it looks quite a lot like a hummingbird, so now maybe this is a hummingbird, maybe it's not, maybe this is Hattori, maybe it isn't. The reason why I bring this up, because obviously this is just one Pokemon, it's just a bird, it's not really that relevant, but the reason why I do bring this up is because if this is Hattori, then that could maybe mean that actually that entire list is legit, because obviously, you know, anything listed like this, anyone can just make that and just show it. Anything leaked could be fake or real, who knows. So this could maybe bring some validity to it, although obviously we don't know if this is Hattori or not, and it's pretty early to tell, so it probably actually doesn't really give us anything at all, but you know, I just thought I'd point it out at least so you guys could think about that. Okay, next up I wanted to talk about the sort of gym, hotel, whatever it is we saw. I honestly don't really know what to say about this. I think it could just be a gym, because they are getting like more and more grand as we go along, but honestly to me it looks a bit more like a hotel, because if you look at the pictures next to it, and if they are next to it, they're probably like linked in, right? And I don't see why Nintendo would just randomly put them there, because obviously that's an image, as you can see it's in Windows Media Viewer or whatever it's called, so this is an image that they've opened up and done the shot so that we could all see, so they've chosen to put this image there, and they've chosen to put these other images with it, so, and Nintendo aren't usually ones to lead us like down the wrong path and, you know, trick us and stuff. So if these images are next to it, these are probably rooms within that one building, and if this is a building that has a bunch of rooms in it, this isn't really something we've seen a lot before in Pokemon. You know, with the exception of like the big super malls and like some well, there's some gyms, some Pokemarts as well, and you can go up to the top floor and Pokemon centers and stuff. So if this is something which is gonna be like one big building which we can go around and have like a bunch of different rooms, this could be anything. It could be I've heard it be theorized it's a hotel, it could be a gym, I don't think it's a gym though, looking at the rooms, or it could be something which is actually relevant to the story. I think if we're going to put this much effort into one building, it probably will be relevant to the story, or maybe it is just a new Mega Mart it's just like slightly fancier, who actually knows, but I just thought I'd point that out. Okay, lastly I wanted to talk about the story and also the legendary Pokemon. Obviously the game is called Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. Now it'll be interesting to see whether these link into Pokemon. I think it'd be some pretty cool like legendary Pokemon could show up. Obviously we've had like Diamond and Pearl, it had the time and space Pokemon with Palkia and Dialga, and you know, similar things with X and Y, etc, etc, and then obviously Ruby Sapphire. We've had all this before, so it'll be interesting to see if they have some sort of Sun legendary Pokemon and Moon legendary Pokemon, and how they actually bring this into the story. Now I don't know, what I want to know is, will they make legendary Pokemon and make it revolve around them, or will they choose some sort of lower Pokemon and revolve around them? Now I have heard some people say Volcarona will be involved, because obviously he is the Sun Pokemon, but there isn't actually a Moon Pokemon. So I've heard people say that it could be Volcarona and Clefable. I've heard obviously Solrock and Lunatone, with them being like the Meteorite Pokemon. But obviously they're based on the Sun and the Moon. Or it could have something to do with Cresselia being the Lunar Pokemon. Honestly, it's a bit early to say, but I did just want to, you know, talk about it. Obviously there's also Umbreon and Espeon knocking about as well. But I just really am looking forward to see what they do with the story, but that's more coming into sort of my wish list, which will be a different video altogether. But yes, that's going to wrap up for this video, so that pretty much covers what we know so far and my speculations. As I said earlier on, let me know what you guys are thinking this particular time. Are you excited? Are you disappointed with the Pokemon Direct? What your speculations are? Just anything on your mind, feel free to put it down below with a comment, and I'll respond to that, and we'll get a little bit of a discussion going perhaps. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Thank you all so much for all the support recently on the likes and the comments and the views and all that sort of stuff. I really appreciate it. Other than that, my name's Yeti. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to smash that like button, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.